So predict the Victorious skin for Season 8, and I'm kind of doing this video already this early, so that way hopefully no one is like baited into this video by thinking it's relevant when the actual skins come out, probably in like October. I'm doing it in March, so most likely that's not considered clickbait or something to do, but let's predict what we think it's going to be already, because I have a prediction that it's going to be based off of one of the 5 champions we saw in the login screen, which was Poppy, Jinx, Jhin, Lucian, and Galio. Now, my argument for why that's going to be a thing not really has anything to do with if those champions are going to be impactful in this year. It kind of has a little bit to do with the role selection, and then as well as why Maokai got picked in Season 6, despite Maokai maybe not necessarily being relevant, at least in the second half of Season 6. Maokai was picked because he was thought to be like the premier tank of League of Legends, and on top of that, a top laner hadn't really gotten a Victorious skin in a minute. I don't really think it's going to really be an ADC, because Sivir did just get it 3 years ago, and Graves is a quote-unquote ADC, but in my opinion, he's just a marksman. Obviously, you can, maybe I'm being a little bit petty by saying that, but I don't really consider anything that's not in the bottom lane an ADC. Graves is a marksman, Corki is a marksman, but you guys having problems with those champions. Us AD carry mains are also probably having problems with those champions, even if it's just that those champions haven't really been viable bottom lane for like 3 years now. But we're kind of in the same boat in that aspect. We both have annoyances with those champions too, but Graves, for example, was picked not because he was an ADC, but because he was a jungler. So a jungler might not necessarily get it either this year, because it probably won't do a jungler back-to-back. But getting into my prediction, if you will, why I think it might be one of those 3 champions, is because looking at Maokai again, if he was picked for that reason, then maybe these champions could be picked for a similar reason. If I was going to make an argument for those champions, I'll start one by one. Poppy, maybe not so much because they just did a top laner tank, but she might be looked at as what an ideal vanguard in League of Legends is if she was going to get picked for that reason, and that's why maybe she's in the login screen. When it comes to Jinx, this one's a little bit up in the air. In terms of pro play, she's kind of not been in pro play for Season 6 and 7 because the Season 5 nerfs, she got 3 of them before the season ended, and it kind of took her out of viability for pro play. Solo queue, she's kind of been fine like she always has been, but now she's been a bit more relevant in pro play, like she is now powerful in solo queue as well, because in Season 7, she was picked or banned across all the regions, wildcard included, and worlds 25 times total. Already now in the first couple of patches of Season 8, she's almost been picked or banned 25 times across the regions. So she's definitely more prominent now in pro play and also powerful in solo queue. So if they were going to give it to her for that reason, and maybe that's why she's in the login screen, that might be why. Also, it could just be popularity. Because when we go to Jhin, he's a champion that some people consider one of the best and most successful releases of a champion by Riot ever in terms of thematic, lore, and how the kit comes together and everything like that. So from that aspect, and then piggybacking off of the Jinx thing in terms of popularity, that might be a reason why he's both in the login screen and might also get the skin as well. Going then finally to Lucian, it's kind of again the same thing in terms of popularity. That's a champion that was very prominent and very popular in the bottom lane, but now is in the mid lane and the top lane, which I need to get to that in a second too, because there's a point I need to make there as well. But let me finish off with Galio. Galio might be an example of something too, an engaged tank or a vanguard or something like that, who also kind of is more of a mid laner, was designed to be more of a mid laner than a top laner too. He can go AP now because of the changes they did to him a couple patches ago, and maybe that might make him YA, again, he was in the login screen like I keep saying, but also why he could possibly be picked for a Victorious skin in terms of ideally what these champions do inside of League of Legends, what they represent. Now, going back to Lucian and Galio, why I put like a little bit of an asterisk and say mid lane is because ideally they're probably not going to give it to another, ADC or marksman after going Graves and Sivir within the past 3 years. Probably not another top lane either because of Maokai, so Poppy's probably out of that too. But Galio and Lucian would kind of be a little bit unfair to mid laners. They probably want more of a mage or an assassin champion to get it if it was going to be a mid laner. But both Galio and Lucian go mid lane. And I think mid lane or support realistically are probably going to get it because those are roles that haven't gotten it in a little bit of time lately. So that would be probably my actual prediction, if I'm being completely honest with myself, a mid or support, and of course Lucian and Galio are mid laners. Kind of, some people would be like, I'd rather Victor or Zir or Zed or something like that, and that's totally fine. Or again, a support could get it, in which case if you really want to stretch it, Galio could be played support. But anyways, that's going to be my predictions, if you will, for the Victorious skin for Season 8. Feel free to add your predictions as well. What champion do you think will get it for Season 8? Or what champion do you want to get it for Season 8, even if it's completely not viable? It could just simply be, it's my favorite champion, I hope they get the Victorious skin because it's my favorite champion. That's a totally fine argument. But that's all for this video. So thank you so much for watching this video if you did. I don't know which video will be next, because life be quite a mess. So until next time, take care from the Fire God IFS. Thank you for watching.